Hello everybody and welcome. This video has been created as a way for me to be able to share with you what I have experienced recently within the last week. And things have taken place while I've been meditating, if you will, within the spiritual realm. Now, those of you that have a tendency to click away rather quickly, please realize that you're not going to benefit if you fast forward through the video or if you don't actually hear every single word I'm saying within your mind. Now, none of this is negative. It's all positive. It's all, just truth, absolute truth within the spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever spirit you refer to it as. So please allow me to start by sharing with you what's on the screen and how this took place. Now, if you see me close my eyes as I'm talking, please don't judge me as being weird or something. It's because I'm trying to quiet my mind so that I can remember as clearly as possible what was portrayed or projected to me when I was in the meditative state. So if you look on the, your, let's see, left hand, you'll see the clock. So allow me to begin. When I was in the meditative realm, it took me a little bit before I started even seeing anything. I just concentrated on pure light. With my eyes closed, I looked for every single speckle of pure light I could find, and I concentrated until it came together to one point. And then once that happened, I literally felt myself transition into a different realm. As soon as I got to that different realm, a clock almost exactly like the one on your screen just kept like floating around in front of me. I didn't quite understand what it was, but I noticed very clearly that it only had 10 hours on the clock. And then I kept hearing, 10 hours in a day, over and over and over again, 10 hours in a day. And in the spiritual realm, in the meditative state, I don't judge or try to figure out what it is. I just try to absorb everything that's being shared with me. And as it continued on, all of a sudden started, popping around in front of me 1010 many a times, as you can see on the screen. And at that point, I just started feeling an overwhelming peace. I didn't feel like it was any negative energy being projected to me. It felt like it was just pure light. Now, when I say pure light, at this point, everything was dark. The only thing I was seeing was like the clock, the 1010, that there's 360 days in a year, not 365, and 10 hours a day. So as this transitioned on, I just kept calming myself, and the more I calmed myself and the more I just allowed myself to absorb the energy, I ended up transitioning to a different time and a different place, if you will. In this new time and place was basically what you see on the screen. I was standing at the edge of an open green pasture, and I just happened to be looking around and kind of wondering, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What is this trying to teach me? And I'm looking up at the sky, noticing how beautiful and blue the sky was, and distant mountains off, and the sheep were just calm. None of them were upset. None of them were even disturbed by me being there. But then all of a sudden, an object came, in the sky. And you can see a close representation of what that object was at the top of the screen. There was no air coming out of it. It was rather large. I would say at least the 3/4 the size of a football field. And it was smooth. There were no windows. It wasn't making any noise, but you could feel the energy coming from it. And it was moving around the sky, you know, kind of going down by the sheep and so on. And then all of a sudden, everything changed and everything went to the right hand side. The camera's backwards, but everything turned to the right hand side. And I was looking over at basically a carnival that had a big Ferris wheel, and the Ferris wheel was going and it was full of people. And then all of a sudden I saw this object that's at the top of the screen. I saw it smash down on the Ferris wheel. And it wasn't gently. It was very aggressively that it was doing it, to a point where people were flying out of the Ferris wheel, but they would fly up out of the Ferris wheel and then come right back down, and it would spin faster and hit them again and just keep beating them to a pulp, in essence. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel like as if this is a crazy dream or something. I just felt as if this was a knowing and a truth. And I stayed within that space, if you will, within that spiritual realm. It felt as if it was probably about 10 minutes. And then from there, I instantly transitioned to a different space. As soon as I transitioned into this different space, as you can see on the screen, it was basically a white room, rather bright white, and it didn't have any doors, it didn't have any windows, and I was greeted by what you see on the left side of the screen. A woman that looks really similar to the picture that I posted. That was the closest I could find. I manipulated some to give you a better idea of what it looked like, or she looked like, if you will, except if you were to add about 25 years to her age. She was wearing the burgundy one-piece suit, like is shown on the left side of the screen. But she was also accompanied by what you see on the right-hand side of the screen. She was quite a bit younger. She was further back, behind in the room. She didn't really say anything. I just knew she was present. And with her, I couldn't necessarily see her face that clearly. I just knew that she was basically part of all descendants, not any specific, category. Now, the one that was closest to me, that was in the burgundy, she appeared to be Norwegian descent. Now, notice I say descent instead of saying race, because in the spirit realm, there is no race. There is only human being. And the reason why I say that is the very word race implies it's a competition, as if there's something to be won. But human being, the being, requires you to be present. And that's exactly what you are if you're fortunate enough to visit the spiritual realm. As we spent time together, they were incredibly gentle, incredibly loving. At no point did I feel any aggression. At no point did I feel any judgment. All I felt as if they were there to help me. And then the woman in burgundy. And I felt the feminine presence, but it didn't necessarily feel as if she was female, if you can fathom that. But as they were just there with me and just calming me down and helping me absorb, if you will, I asked her, the one in burgundy, I said, "Where are you from?" And she sat down next to me. And she started writing out on her right leg. She started writing a name. And that name is on the screen of where she was from. Now, as she was writing it out, initially, she was having a hard time writing, letters. And it would, as she wrote it out, it would just kind of fade away. And then she would start writing again to the point to where she got clear. where she was able to write it out in, English letters, if you will. But as she was finishing up writing it out, it just kept not glitching, but like fading in and out. And once she had completed writing it out, the two of them just faded off into the distance, and I found myself to be alone within that room. And after that took place, I came out of the meditative state, out of the spiritual realm. I know that majority of you by now have, either fast forward or clicked off this video, and I respect that, because honestly, I have created this video for the one person in the world that this video speaks to. Whether you recognize something very specifically I've said or the words that I've put on the screen, that one person in the world, this is why I am doing this video for you. It's not for me, it's not to psych anybody out, it's simply out of love. Within this, meditative state, I entered into it in the same way as the other, where I just closed my eyes. I concentrated on all the white speckles until they all came together in one form, if you will. They all concentrated, and that was kind of like a gateway for me to enter into the spiritual realm. This time, when I got there, I found myself within a white room, basically exactly like you see on the screen. The only difference is the ceiling did not have grids across it. It was just all bright white light. Now, I knew that there were 6 other beings present with me. They weren't necessarily, I didn't feel them as being human being presence. They were more of a spiritual presence. But I could tell that they were dressed in basically suits, but I couldn't actually make out any of their faces. I couldn't make out the color of their skin or anything. I just knew that they were there and they were present. And I had this overwhelming feeling, within my soul, if you will, that they were with me to teach me. And I would ask questions, but I would never get a direct answer. I would just all of a sudden feel this calmness come over me, and I just kind of knew. Didn't hear the answers, but I knew the answers to the questions I was asking. And as they calmed me, I just kind of sat in the room and just started gazing into the space in the center of the room. And I did feel, some of them started giggling, not as in a way of judging me, but as in a way of being happy. They were happy that I was able to experience what they wanted to show me. And what happened was, as I was just staring up into the open airspace, almost like a ball of mist started appearing. It came in and out and in and out until it took a form. It took a form of an orb, if you will. And I was able to see through it, similar to exactly what's on your screen. Not similar. I mean, I got fortunate enough to recreate what I saw within the spiritual realm, and everything was just as real as it is you sitting or standing wherever you are right now watching this video. And as I kept watching this mist, this ball of mist, if you will, take shape and form, it started getting more and more concentrated until all of a sudden it became a ball of malleable water, if you will. You could see the outside of it just keep moving around and squishing in and out as if there was no individual source of gravity pulling one way or another. It was just in a state of interacting with all energy in the environment. And I looked out at it and I was like, wow, that is so beautiful. I even took my hand and I reached out towards it, and it ended up, settling down in my hand, and I was able to gently squeeze it, and it just felt as if I was holding the surface tension of water all the way around. It didn't feel any temperature sensation. It just felt very pleasant and very soothing. And as I continued to look at it, all of a sudden, a bunch of fish appeared within it. They were confined within this water orb, if you will, and they kept swimming around, just gently checking everything out, not really having a purpose. But then one of them ended up coming straight towards facing me, and it just stared at me. And it wasn't scared, it wasn't intimidated, it just kept staring at me, wagging its tail fin back and forth, letting me know that it was at peace. And after I had fully absorbed everything that was being shared with me, everything just slowly started disappearing and going away. And these two experiences have changed me. The closest I could describe them would be as if having a near-death experience, but yet with no harm. Never did I feel unsafe. Never did I feel like I was in an evil spirit realm. I just felt at peace. I felt as if this was my reward for what I've been doing over the last year and a half in the channel. And when I say that, at the beginning of June, while I was meditating, this overwhelming knowing came upon me, letting me know that I had become one with the Spirit. Now, I know majority of you are weirded out. I mean, simply by, if you look at my aura, look at what the light has been taking place. If you look in other videos within my channel, you'll see light reacts totally different. Sometimes it will go up, sometimes it will go down, sometimes it's a little chaotic. It all is dependent upon my energy. This isn't a trick by no means. I've said from the very beginning of my channel, I will be 100% transparent. I will never ask anything of anybody. This is why I've never asked anybody to subscribe or never asked anybody to like or dislike or comment. I do welcome any of it. It's not my place to ask, because all I am trying to do is share positive, pure energy that I receive within the spiritual realm, and my journey of becoming as pure and removing all the negative thoughts within my brain. Because I know without a doubt, once you train yourself to do that, and once you refuse to accept any negative, you literally move to a different realm. When I say that, I am not saying that I don't, physically exist anymore. I do physically exist. I mean, I still am who I am. But I have such an overwhelming peace within my soul, the spirit within my soul, that I have zero fear of death. I have zero depression. I have nothing but love. And ultimately, isn't that what all of us desire? As I go, I will be sharing with you a song. Those of you of the X generation, as I am, you'll think back to the original version of it, and that was through Steve Miller Band. and the song is Fly Like an Eagle. But I'll be playing the modern version that was created by a DJ. Now, please take the time and listen to every word that is being said and realize this was originally created in the 70s. Listen to every single word and see how the song actually predicted this current future. Then, when you hear revolution, recognize that as revelation, and then you'll see, in essence, what I know, what I understand. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to trick anybody. I am not trying to create a cult. Because the truth is, nobody will ever see me in person. I will never gather people. I will appear to people because I know that I will be coming back to the United States before August 24th of 2024. Why is that? I just know in my whole being it's important that I do this. Now, when I say I will not appear to people, I mean I will not physically appear to people unless I want to. I will continue to keep speaking through my channel, not because I need anybody to follow, not because I am trying to get any attention. I have everything I need. I am doing it because, like I said, for that one person in the world that needs to hear this message, that this video or these videos within my channel connect with you. All of this is for you. But I believe if you look at the words that are on the screen that I'm getting ready to put up as you listen to the song Fly Like an Eagle, I think all of you will find a very direct message to you if you simply look for the positive and feel and know from the spiritual perspective. I love all of you. Why? It's because I love the spirit within me. And if I love the spirit within me, then of course I love the spirit within all of you. Because from what I see, we are all one through spirit. And if you stop and think, everything in existence tells us this, and it all tells us that if we want to find the absolute truth, we must look within. Like I said, I love you, and please don't click off, read the messages, because I am sure that there is one that is specifically there for you. May peace be with you.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping.